Hey, Marietta. So we talking about women of the Bible, and we talking about Zelophehad daughters seeking an inheritance. The Bible speaks of daughters as well as sons. However, the daughters often appear in the background. The genealogies go on and they list the sons, but what about the daughters? We find one powerful amount of daughters in Numbers 27. The daughters of Zelophehad. The biblical account relates how they courageously request to receive a family inheritance in anticipation of the Israel's entrance in the promised land. The tradition was that land allotments remains in the family through a male relative, thus perpetuating the ancestral name. Zelophehad, I'm just going to say Zelophehad, daughters made a request that not only challenged that tradition but also changed the laws of the community. Their actions were personal, yet the results brought about change in the legal cultural system by becoming case law. The five daughters, Mela, Noah, Hogla, Makai, and Tarza, were amazing women. Because their father had died in the desert, leaving no male heir, they realized that his name and their family portion in Canaan would be lost. They were trying not to be aggressive and the values and norms of their culture, but they did want to be heard. So they took a risk and made their claim within the context of their religious, cultural, and legal system. They put themselves in a position of being rebuffed or blessed. Because they boldly presented a legitimate request, they were blessed, and so too were many who came behind them. The inheritance given to Mala, Nola, and Hogla, Makai, and Tarza demonstrate that God does not give women secondary status and that He is concerned for them. These sisters were rewarded for their faith in God and in His justice for their welfare and personal security. They ask and they receive. Often we receive not because we not ask. The story of Zappala's daughters in Numbers 27 provides the following lesson for women today. Proclaim who you are and that you have God-given rights. Know how your culture constrains or supports you as you claim your rights. And know that asserting yourself can lead to changes in your society that will benefit future generations. And then we talking about Rahab. Rahab. Willing to be used by God. Rahab's story shows that God can use anyone. Rahab was a prostitute whose house was part of Jericho's defensive wall. When Joshua sent spies into when Joshua sent spies into Jericho, the spies lodged in Rahab's house. When the kings of Jericho sent soldiers in search of the spies, Rahab courageously hid them on the rooftop and told the king's soldiers that the spies were not there. Because of her great courage and kindness, the spies promised Rahab that her family would not be harmed during the destruction of Jericho. Just before Rahab helped the spies escape safely through a window, they instructed her to hang a scarlet cord from her window so that the Israel will be able to identify the families that should be spared. Rahab told the spies that she had heard stories about God miracles and that she recognized their God as the one true God. Rahab's story had taught women throughout time that God uses whoever He chooses to fulfill His missions. God doesn't always choose the most righteous. He chooses those who are the most willing. Rahab's belief in God gave her the courage to help the spies. The greater news, however, in that in spite of the fact that she was a prostitute, God chose her to assist Joshua in his mission to capture Jericho. Her faith earned her a place in the Hebrew Hall of Faith and a listed in the genealogy of Jesus. When God comes in our heart, we can truly become new people. However, we must remain faithful in reaching for the courage and the boldness that allow us to take the first step towards Him. And as women of God, we must remember to not discount others who do not act as we do. They too may be used by God and can become new creators. All right, y'all. I'll be back.